Welcome. Welcome to the war for top four. 5 points behind Aston Villa. 5. 1 point ahead of Everton. 1. Welcome to the war for top four. Chelsea Football Club go to Bournemouth. 0-0. Dirty December. Charity. When this month is done, God knows where we'll be, because this is what we are. This is us in this month in particular. I'm at a loss for words. I'm honestly at a loss for words. The standard of football in that game was an eyesore. It was rough. It was on another level of, do we keep watching this? Do we go and do the spring cleaning? I've got a Hoover. I've got clothes to dry. What do we do with this? This is not palatable. This is not acceptable. This is Saturday, midday, 3 p.m. kickoff, middle of the day. We could definitely do other things. We could definitely find other things to do than watch this football match. You knew with half an hour to go, I kid you not, half an hour to go, that we were not going to score a goal in this game. You knew with half an hour to go, we were not going to win this game. How is that possible? With the amount of resources that have been put into this squad for times like this, where yes, there is a suspension, that's not an excuse that your central midfielder is suspended, so now you can't create any clear-cut chances up until the 47th, 46th minute, when we just had an array of shots, but all of them extremely comfortable for Petrovic. All of them extremely comfortable. Didn't have to break sweat. Bournemouth actually probably will feel they should have won that game based upon the quality of their chances versus the quality of ours. Our shots are hitting hopes. Chances. They're on the goal line borderline in their biggest moment. 0.999999 XG. Some people are telling me we've got 5 times worse XG than them in the first half. We had no shots on target. Listen, I've seen it all before after Leeds, but they actually managed to somehow make me a little bit more nauseated after watching that, because this is not Leeds. This is not a fierce, rough atmosphere, Wednesday night under the lights, historic rivalry. This is Bournemouth. No disrespect. They're in bad form coming into this game, but this is Bournemouth. This is the coast. This is the seaside. It was dry. There was no sun. There was no snow. There was no wind. There was no rain. There was no climate. It was just dead today. There was nothing there in the game, in the sky. It was just, you could literally just pretend this game didn't exist. That's what you should really go ahead and do. If you're a neutral, if you're a Chelsea fan that missed the game, just pretend this doesn't even exist, because it is just absolute nothingness, this match. Nothingness. We didn't look creative. We didn't have any cohesion. Enzo Fernandez in midfield left Reece James out there to die. He was getting bullied on and off the ball. Some people will say, okay, maybe he's tired. He played 90 against Burnley. He played 90 against Barca, 90 against Arsenal, 90 against Leeds, because of the injury issues that we have in midfield with Lavia and Asogo. So there's no Caicedo suspended. So a lackluster performance from Enzo. Lackluster's putting it politely. It was diabolical at times. Some of the passing in this game will make you want to pull your eyeballs out of your sockets and throw them across the street. The passing, the standard of passing was so poor in that first half. I don't even really care about the team selection. What? You should have started ahead of the lap. Josh should have... Well, come on. Don't care about the team selection. James played. Fofana played. Palmer played. Neto played. Garnacho. People speak about the defence, and don't get me wrong, the defence has been a joke at times this season. But let me remind you, the money was put into the attack, and people have thought, oh, we're scoring goals, so there's nothing wrong with the attack. No. The attack's fine. We're scoring goals, so let's not look at the actual quality of play. Let's not look at the quality of football that we're watching. in the attack at times in terms of the attributes. Let's not look at where the goals are coming from on counter-attacks against Barcelona, on transitions with the first goal against Sunderland. When it's time to open up a block, when it's time to actually find some fine moments, fine lines, fine margins, Garnacho and Neto are our best attackers today. That speaks volumes, because you know you can't sit there and say they are inevitable attackers. They're not guaranteed to get you that goal. So for all of the opportunities they created, for all the crosses they put in, hit the post, shot just wide, awful shot from Neto, that balloon wide of the post, got cutbacks, decent deliveries, for all of that, 0-0. Why? Because they're not the level of attacker that decides a game. They're not the level of attacker that wins you a game. Sometimes they might get you a goal. Sometimes they may not. Sometimes it's not going to get us anywhere as a football club. Sometimes it's not going to put us at the top end of the table. Sometimes. Inconsistency. Cole Palmer today, just coming off the back of an injury, first start, poor. The passing was really poor. There was so many times, and this is the thing, I think we may waste. We may be the biggest wasters in this league. We waste so many transitions and counters. It's absolutely astonishing. The amount of times today we had the ball in that first half, we're running with men, maybe overloads, maybe an advantage, but we have men. We have men running forward, and we have men on the ball with Enzo Palmer, and the pass is underhit. The pass is underweighted. The pass is overweighted. The pass is overhit. The pass is not even accurate. The pass is not even to your player. On a transition. Forget low blocks now. On a transition today, we were shocking. Absolutely shocking. You have ample opportunity. Play it to feet. You don't play it to feet. Play it ahead of the man so he can run onto it. You don't play it ahead of the man so he can run onto it. Or you play it so far ahead of the man that the defender gets there and intercepts. Basic passing today. Basic passing. The only person that could pass today was Reece James. Again, in midfield. The only person. The wingers looked like they wanted to win, but they didn't have the facilities, the capabilities, the attributes to win. They tried to do what they could do. They did what they could do. They could not do any more than they did. And down the middle, with Delap, again, there's no effect. Guy, he comes on, there's no effect. This is the quality, this is the level of quality we're dealing with. And the reason why I get more angry about our attack than our defence is because you can justify, if you want to, that we're unlucky in defence. Because Fofana's injury prone, we have to manage him. He was brilliant today. Because Colwell is injured for the whole season. He was really good at the end of last season in the Club World Cup. Because Josh is an up-and-coming young player, but there's loads of talent there. You want to go and fetch your Mamadou Sarrs and your Insaminos next season. Go, by all God, go for it. But my God, be very ready for acclimatization, inconsistency, and physicality. Maybe for Insamino, more in his case, hitting him like a ton of bricks like Christensen, Mönchengladbach loan. But up front, we spent money up front in the summer. We allocated resources. We sold one to buy one. We removed João Felix. We removed Christopher Nkunku. We have Mudryk suspended. We got rid of Jadon Sancho. We got rid of Madueke. We got rid of Nicholas Jackson. Attacker after attacker after attacker after attacker after attacker after attacker has left this club. And the guys that have come in, whether we care to like it or not, admit it or don't, they have been sideward step buys. Sideward step buys. You can't look at Delap's performance. You can't look at you coming on off the bench and his maybe performance against Sunderland. You can't look at these guys and say that their hold-up play, their interlinking link-up play, their movement off the ball, their understanding of the offside trap, their presence inside the penalty box, their anticipation for cutbacks and crosses is any better than what we've got rid of. That's not to sit here and say Jackson's the solution. That's not to sit here and say Madueke is the solution. But the actual level of quality has not gone up enough to get consistent output and consistent quality. Forget the output, because people will tell me, oh, the goals have been shared around. Why have the goals been shared around? The goals have been shared around because you can't rely upon anybody to score. So what you do is you leave yourself in a situation where you pray to God, you pray to the high heavens that someone is going to score. But that is not always going to happen because the quality is not there. This is not Harry Kane. This is not Michael Olise. This is not top-tier, world-class attackers. There's no Mbappe here. There is no inevitability. There is no fact of matter that these guys will get you the GNA that they need, that you need them to get. across the course of the season. It is hope. It is hit and hope up there. That is what it is. It is predictable. We are constantly going out wide, cross, and cross, and cross, and cross. We have no aerially dominant striker. And I'm not talking about you getting a header for Sunderland in the Carabao Cup second round. I'm talking about someone like Osimhen. I'm talking about someone that is literally a destroyer in the air. Not in the six, in the air. He hangs in the air. He leaps. He loops. He's gliding up there like a plane for hours on end, waiting for that ball to hit his forehead, like a Haaland for Manchester City. Someone clinical, someone that only needs one chance, two at best. We don't have these things. So that is why it is a war for top four, as it currently stands. As it currently stands. And you know what? With what we have to bring to the table in December, with Newcastle away, Everton in the form of their life, literally in fifth place, at home next, and just the charitable work that we do in this period of time, we are going to repeat the same offences, atrocities, and criminal behaviour that we have done in previous seasons. We are going to talk about title race at the start of December, and we're going to end December and start January talking about top four race, because that is how this December is lining up for us. It's so poor in terms of the performance, in terms of the results to start this month, that we are lining ourselves up for, come January, Etihad, 4th of January, we might be 5th or 6th. We might be 7th. We might just be, again, a couple points off top four. Don't worry, we'll get there. And what's the objective? Top four. So that's the state of the play. And we could have lost today. Like I said, Semenyo, the amount of space, time, freedom, opportunity to access the middle of the park and just run with the ball, because we didn't have anyone to stop him. The only person in there was Reece James. Enzo Fernandez, car crash in that midfield. Getting pushed, shoved, moved to. Just move out the way, please, sir. One hand. This is what was happening to Enzo Fernandez. One hand. Just move out the way, please. Please, just move. You're in the way. One arm. One shoulder. Gusto, right back, dealing with Kluivert. Semenyo running at him. Cutbacks constantly. Saves from Sanchez. Sanchez was really good again today. Where would we be, by the way, if Sanchez was on the same tomfoolery that he was on the season before? The season before this. Where would we be if Robert Sanchez was making the level of blunder, and he still in the first few minutes had a couple where he cleared it into opposition players? But just imagine where we would be if this guy was on his foolishness, on top of the foolishness in front of him. It's mad when you really think about it. But by far and away our best player, the quality that he brings to the team is absolutely crystal clear when he comes into that centre-back position, to the point where Chalobah is now in line and playing to the level he should be playing to as well. So that whole tossing situation versus Josh, I don't even want to hear about that again from the manager. That pecking order has to be set. Tossing wasn't even on the bench today, so that tells you all you need to know. But the quality. Esteval comes on far too late for me. The substitutions, Gittins, you bring him on what? João Pedro, you bring him on. What did João Pedro do when he came on? Not enough. That's the answer. Because you should be able to go and win us the game. You should be able to go and score us the goal, create that moment of magic that finishes this fixture. They didn't even score. We kept a clean sheet. We still couldn't win. 55 million allocated, 55 million allocated, 40 million allocated, 60 million allocated, 30 million allocated. Allocation after allocation after allocation after allocation after allocation. And guess what? We're going to be talking about replacing. Again, next summer, we need to move 2 or 3 attackers out, bring in 2 or 3 more. Round and round and round and round we go. Bored to the high heavens with this foolishness. But hey ho, here we are. So we are exactly where we are now in terms of we're 4th, we're 5 points off Villa. How on earth we have a gap to Villa that big? Man City won 3-0. People asking about Arsenal. Oh, they lost 2-1 away to Villa Park. What have you got to say on that? It's none of my business. It has been none of my business since Leeds, especially. It's none of my business. Clearly, as you can see by today's result, it is none of our business. They went to one of the toughest away games or grounds in this league and lost. Whoop-de-doo. They're still top of the table. They've already gone to Villa. They've gone to Newcastle. They've gone to Chelsea. They've gone to Liverpool. They've gone to Old Trafford. They've played City. And they're top of the league. Do you want to take a look at the away games we've got in the new year? Do you want to take a look at the last 10 games for us versus them? It's not a conversation. It is not a conversation in the slightest. So don't be sitting there thinking, oh, we gained a point on them. If that's your mentality, you are finished. You're cooked. I don't think there's many of you. There might be 0.01% chance that there's one of you in there thinking that way. That's. We need to get you sectioned. I'm going to put it politely, as nice as I can, as nice as I can say it. That's what needs to happen. So, really, a nothing game, which is why I hope I've at least entertained. You know, we got the washing getting done on a Saturday. Do you know what I mean? Drying my clothes, got the Hoover out. That's what we've been doing in the watch along. We've just been getting the chores done. I've got some mopping to do. Like I said on the watch along, I've got some surfaces to spray down and clean. I've got some leaves to pick up outside for the autumn. Autumn period is well and truly finished, as we can clearly see by the results. And yeah, we crack on. We crack on. But this is it. Top 4 again. Good to be back. 3rd year on the trot. Guys, I ain't got nothing more to say, and there really isn't too much to pick apart from that game. We're fortunate to not lose, because I think Bournemouth's quality of chances were higher than ours, and they got into more dangerous position than ours. But their final ball and their final third play could have been much better as well. The final third on both sides today was just disgraceful. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. So, yeah, love and guidance, and I'll see you for the Atalanta away game. Much love and much fun. In a bit, people. Peace.